face.
We're reading through the files. All right, we have replaced our recording and taken our quick little bathroom break and done what we need to do. And while I was there, I did the quick math confirmation on the time.
Okay.
And it's 40 years. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
cool.
That is an insane amount of time to spend looking for someone in beach time at the very least. It's always one of those things. Whenever you hear like someone did something like ridiculous for a period of time, where you're just like, oh my god, that's how much they cared. You know. That's big. That's big.
They did not give up.
So, yeah, let's get this mail open. Right, we got a couple things, but I'm also just like, there's thoughts, right? There's just thought before we even fucking.
There's a lot of content.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm not even gonna read what that said. Fuck that. I'm not even gonna read what that said. All right. So. I don't know what questions you have, but I feel like most of them are answered, but I do have some lingering ones. And I guess the like my it doesn't expressly say it, but I'm assuming that the reason why we are seeing our own memories when we connect to Lou is because Lou is still a connection to the other side, right? So I'm assuming that is what is actually happening, is simply connecting with anything like a bridge baby, which is connecting us to the other side, is enough for it to trigger
tapping into
his own memories, right? So perhaps that's what's up, right? The other thing, which is, of course, it's part of the whole twist, is the idea that every time Cliff was coming for BB, Cliff was coming for you. And the connection to you was indistinguishable from the feeling of coming for BB, right?
Yes.
But to Cliff, the bridge baby on your chest is the thing he remembers.
Probably.
And is what he's seeking. But you are actually the connection.
Yes.
Right? So he didn't know that you were you. And he just, the last thing he saw before coming back was him turning around. He saw like, everyone when they die, right? They walk away into the distance, into the water.
Yes.
And like, you can't really fight it. Right? And you see Heartman having that moment and so on. For him, he has that moment where like he turns around, he's seeing Amelie pick you up, but then he still has to go away and he turns his back and then continues, right? So like he acknowledged he did see that moment happen, but when he's coming for you, he's not aware of the fact that like the thing on your chest is not actually his, So
I'm wondering what's up with Sam's life after being adopted all the way to the Porter life.
I guess there's not much to it besides the tragedy we were told about, right? Like we were told that he had he lost his girl, right? We were told about what his intended he was going to name his kid Lou, and then lost his kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's much else. There's much else to it beyond that, but that seems to be about the extent of what we got. And then, then there's the part where like Amelie has her feelings about wanting to do her job, and she's impatient on the beach almost, and is like, okay, let's get this extinction over with, right? And then Higgs gets brought into the fold, and then tasked with. And then he's tasked with like carrying out her will, and then through her connections and so on, she kind of starts to change her mind, right? And you kind of start to change her mind as well, and then this whole thing is kind of you talking her out of it, right? But it's kind of hard to like see her being okay with to see her being okay with you suffering in the ways that you suffered throughout this game. You know what I mean? Where it's like she's caring for you deep down, and you're able to talk her out of like what she feels is a hopeless situation, but like she's also willing to sort of like use people like Higgs to do terrible things, and like, you know, and even in those moments when you're like you're having the flashbacks to like her on the beach crawling up to you, and you're all freaked out about what's going on in the beginning of that whole beach sequence. It feels like there's moments where she's not showing compassion for you, basically, you know, and it's a little bit like what is your deal exactly? But I think some of that is also just like the complexity of, I guess, like the fact that she had an opinion and then changed it, and that you are making her go against her nature.
Yeah. Maybe
that could cover the reasons why things are like hostile but also loving at the same time, you know? Anyway, that's the one thought I have, which requires more than a couple of sentences to talk about.
You need to think about it and question yourself on that. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's my take anyway. I guess we can find out more when we read his stuff, but I don't know if you had any different assumptions about why she would do that, you know. And then it definitely the most regret you see is when she realizes that she shot the fucking fetus.
Yeah.
She picked up Die Hard Man's hand and fucking yeeted the fetus.
Poor guy.
Right? Like literally with his own hand, and as if he wasn't already like suffering enough. Yeah, exactly, right? And then has a breakdown immediately afterwards. But the state of mind to do that is already still super like callous. You know what I mean? Even with all the regret. So that's the one thing, is like she's regretting her actions really, really severely, and it shows, but like she still spurred them on in this way, and I guess that's the complexity of her being practically not human.
Yeah.
You know? Bonafide hero shit. Victor Frank. Well, you actually pulled it off. Made it all the way out west and came back to tell the tale. I've got to admit, when I was worried you wouldn't see it through. Seemed like a tall order for anyone, after all. It hasn't been easy for people you left behind, but I told myself I try not to blame you. That wouldn't be fair. So sorry I ever doubted you. You're a real hero, Sam. There's plenty of us out here who'll never forget that. Thanks.
Thanks for the support, Victor. Yes. Oh no. What's happening?
Fuck.
The wedding's back on. Dear Sam, I hope you're doing all right. So my mother told us what happened 5 years ago. It's weird how we don't have any memory of it, though I'm glad for that. Some things are better forgotten, I think. His gang killed my parents? There's no denying that, but there's also no denying that he saved me. He took me by the hand and led me to safety. I wish I could remember that much at least, even if it meant having to remember some of the rest. He was there for me 5 years ago, and ever since my mother's been there for me too. It's because of them and their love that I survived, that I became who I am today. I owe them everything. Well, maybe not everything. I shouldn't forget how you've helped me, Sam. I can't thank you enough. Anyway, I'm going back to our own shelter now. No more running away from me. I've got a wedding to plan after all. Yeah, blink twice if you need help. Maybe she got kidnapped for all I know, and he's the one writing everything.
His gang killed my parents.
That is also very surprising.
There's no denying that. But there's no denying that he saved me.
That's some good Stockholm syndrome. Like, he did this bad thing.
You know, this was almost a perfect ending until I opened this email. Can I just mark it as unread, undo the read receipt, delete it, and pretend it never happened? Because this is the end of the story. Found impaled on a zip line alongside the Chronicles of Aaron, so that Aaron Hill and the junk dealer drowned in tar. Fuck off! The wedding is back on.
Okay, but what does Mama have to say about this?
Dear Sam, maybe you already heard, but my daughter turned up here the other day saying she was moving back home. Not long after that, her man came around looking for her, so I decided it was time to come clean and tell them the whole truth about what happened 5 years ago. The truth about how they first met. My daughter's real parents were killed by a gang of junk dealers, a gang to which her own husband used to belong. He was just a boy at the time, though, and in fact, he was the one who saved her life. Somehow, he convinced the others to leave her be. I still remember the way he was holding her hand when I found them. How scared she was. Hood pulled over her face, unable to find words. I tell you, the boy chose to strike out at his own after that and set up him as a prepper, but no, I won't deny it. I didn't want to take care of both of them, so I sent him on his way. It was pure chance that they met again and fell in love. Fate, maybe, though I cursed it at that day, let me tell you. They didn't remember each other, you see. Trauma, I suppose. So it was my burden alone to bear. Even if I wanted to keep them apart, I wouldn't dare remind them of all that. But after everything that happened, I realized it had to be done. They both needed to remember the whole of it, that he'd saved her life, but that it wouldn't have needed saving if it wasn't for his gang. Knowing the truth, could they see their way to reconciliation? Well, after some talking and thinking, they told me that if you love someone, nothing else matters. Can you believe that? So I told them to give it another go. It won't be easy, and frankly, it shouldn't be. But I sincerely believe they have what it takes. If they want to get married, I'll support their decision.
Okay. Does that...
Man!
Yeah?
Yeah, that's some weird... That's some... All right.
That's some weird
He was a
shit.
kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't involved.
He was not involved, and he saved her. He was like, no,
Yeah.
leave her alone.
Well, then...
And it was a miracle that they got back together.
Fine. So then he's just a jerk.
Yep.
He, at the end of the day, fine. He's a jerk.
He's just a dick.
Fine.
But I'm sure that the mother is like, maybe there are other like suitable gentleman callers out there, but...
Listen. If she...
Have you seen Tinder lately?
Listen. All right?
Okay. Look at this porter. Fucking...
Swipe right on a BT.
Yo, gotta do what you gotta do.
It's a match. Listen. All right, folks. The junk dealer, kind of a jerk. We met him. We dealt with him. Traumatic past, fair enough. She's got a past, happened to her. That's a shitty deal as well. They tried to make it work. Shit didn't work out because he was a jerk. Mm-hmm. She left.
Yep.
Trauma or tragic stories and pasts aside, sometimes star-crossed lovers maybe are not great at dealing with each other in social close quarters. Right? Just because you have a childhood link to somebody doesn't mean you know how to be a decent boyfriend. What if you're kind of bad at that? Either way, she wants it. She's going back to him. Let him be happy. Let them be happy. Let them do their thing. They deserve each other. And if they wind up on cops, if she's walking around pregnant with her fourth kid going, "No, it's okay. He loves me. And
I know he does.
I can change him." Then so be it. Enjoy each other's company. And fucking, yeah.
While the junk dealer is like, wait until they let me out of jail. We'll be right back. Oh, he loves me.
Clean is what I tell you about playing down by the tar pit. Yeah. Let him enjoy each other living in the trash. Living in the junk trash pile. Have each other.
As long as they're happy.
Yeah. I already paid my visit. I already stayed in that shelter.
It's true. Sleepovers.
All right. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Not the interview, but the memory chips. No, it's the interviews. Locked in syndrome.
All right. Oh, Die Hard Man. It's a long one. So it's been decided that Amelie will lead the expedition. In terms of talent and temperament, it was only ever going to be her or Sam Strand. But we don't know where Sam is, which made the decision easy. Besides, there's no denying she's special. Amelie was born on the beach, or rather, her physical body, her Ha, that was born into this world, while her spiritual essence, her Ka, was born on the beach. Medically speaking, they weren't sure what to call it. In the end, they settled on a diagnosis similar to what's known as locked-in syndrome, a condition where the subject is mentally present but physically unable to move their body, except for their eyes sometimes. The president was able to communicate with Amelie's soul on the beach, but her body remained as it was when she was born. But after a time, thanks mainly to the president's effort, she began to show progress. Amelie's physical and spiritual selves gradually came together, and her body began to develop normally. It was right about then that they realized she was also a doom sufferer and began to ascertain her incredible abilities. She can transport herself physically to her own beach. Guess it makes sense. That world is more real to her than this world. She may have overcome her initial struggles, but she still spent most of her life on the other side. And over there, time stands still, which is why even now she looks like she's in her 20s. Eventually, the president came to feel that her daughter had been through enough. From that point onward, all communication with Amelie would be via hologram. Even during the expedition, she wouldn't be in direct contact with most of the team. It's not a bad plan, to be fair. It'll help her to keep her out of reach of terrorists, for a start.
But people never met her in person.
Apparently.
I'm confused now. This makes it sound as if she did exist physically in person, and that she had this case they're describing as locked-in syndrome, and then at some point she then became someone that no one met. But the way the characters made it sound just now, it sounded as if she was always on the beach, merely projecting herself into our world.
This is... okay. Go back up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not real.
So did he know the truth?
This is just Bridget covering her existence. Right? This whole thing that we're reading right now is complete bullshit. Like the hologram thing, whatever, blah da 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 da. Like no, she exists on the beach. She is not there is no daughter. So all of that is nonsense.
Yeah.
Bullshit blazing indeed. And I guess and that brings me to what I was about to ask actually just before we selected this was like why does she have 2 names again? /5 names?
Oh, you mean Amelie?
I mean, obviously there's Bridget and there's Amelie.
Bridget, Amelie, Samantha.
Yeah, but why is she also Samantha? Why is she Samantha America Strand and also Amelie?
Was Samantha like cult of personality type of thing?
The name that she gave her daughter, but the official name was Amelie as the other half of her soul.
Amelie, nickname for...
Amelie's a nickname for Samantha America Strand. Okay. All right. It was just... That's all it was. It was just taken from the middle name into that abbreviation. Or not even abbreviation. Okay. And Bridget Strand... or rather... Yes. Sorry. I almost said Bridget Bridges... But then I realized that Bridget is also
part of it.
Bridget is named Bridget because Bridges.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus fucking
Don't
Christ.
hurt yourself like this.
It all...
Are you okay? You're good. You're good. Trust me.
Like, Sam is already a Porter and a Bridges. And Bridges, Lisa Bridges, the Bridges family, the Bridges name. But Bridget is also Bridget because Bridges. And America...
Bridge?
And Amelie, who is Amerigo Vespucci, who is America Strand, who is also Soul Lie. And Sam and Lou, my soul. It's just a lot. It's just a lot, you know? Like
when you gotta drive a point in, you know? Gotta do what you gotta do. Don't go jumping off any cliffs, okay? Bridgmanite. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one's real. That one's actually real. Kojima and his names are like especially when he goes in for like the fourth twist on the name, right? Whether it's an acronym, backronym, anagram, or more. Rat Patrol. It's always like you can tell that it's his favorite thing in the world because he won't stop doing it. Like I bet you Sam took him like 3 years of planning to arrive on that name because of every other possible thing it could be, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got a page of notes saying Sam also stands for still a man and strands. You know what I mean? Like he's got all these different reasons why that's a name that he picks, you know?
So Strand, Porter, Bridges,
SPB.
Wait, what about Unger?
Clifford,
Cliff Unger?
Hunger.
Cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger. Hunger. He hungers for his BB. You know, it really, you can just assume. You can just assume that that's exactly what he's going for every time, right? Because it really feels like Kojima, like he never names a name accidentally, and then he will have that character say the word of the thing they're named for 80 times. So, yeah, it's probably exactly that. It's probably exactly that. Okay. There's a psychological framework which posits that the human's personality is comprised of various strands. Of course they are. The inner mind, the outer character, each is a strand or a thread made up of yet smaller threads which intertwine with each other that makes us who we are. Turn it into a heart metaphor, bro. No one's stopping you. And in nurturing each strand, we become better people and inure ourselves against psychological harm, or so the theory goes. As odd as it may sound, it's not entirely dissimilar to the concept to the one which lies behind the most ubiquitous of the Objiwe artifacts, the Dreamcatcher. You've seen them before, yes? A woven web of threads said to protect the mind from harm by trapping nightmares, thus ensuring that only pleasant dreams pass through. It's no coincidence that these charms came to symbolize the pan-Indian movement of the 20th century. The many and varied Native American tribes strove to set aside... I'm sorry, my eyes are getting really tired. Like, they're actually just getting really tired.
We've been there for a while. You want me to keep going?
The lights are very bright. It's okay. Just give me a second.
Flashing. Lights.
Yeah. Sometimes when we used to record, like my eyes would water up and like straight up like sear and tear. Hasn't happened in a while, but
no headache?
No.
Okay,
just
checking.
A lot of screen. It's like screen breaks is what you take at work.
Yes.
Every 5 minutes or every 5 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take a screen break, and we have not taken any.
Mm.
As such, it came to symbolize what made them one people, what united them. In essence, strands can represent that which makes us who we are, that which differentiates us from what we are not, and the bonds we share with one another.
Woolie, can I show you what's on my phone right now? Do you see this? What does strand mean in Dutch? Don't throw my phone across the room! Don't throw my phone across the room. Tell the people what you saw. Tell them what I've shown you.
From the bottom of my heart, go fuck yourself, Reggie. Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. I hate you. I hate you so much right now. I am filled with loathing.
Yes.
And venom.
Yes. I feel the power. I'm getting stronger.
Vitriol. bubbling from my throat and gurgling over. Go fuck yourself.
Tell them, Woolie. Tell them.
He just held up a Google Translate and he typed in the word strand and translated it to Swedish?
From Dutch to English. And then what?
The Dutch word strand translates to beach.
Ow! Yes! Kojima is so far ahead of you. Light years. You can't stop this man. It's everywhere.
I can't.
Okay?
I can't do it. I can't do it. No, I did.
No.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I finally have an answer to the infamous question. Did you like it? No. I did not like it. I didn't like it at all. In fact, I hated it.
But the work.
It was terrible. The wordplay is physically hurting me. My angina. I'm getting like, whoo.
Death beaching.
I can't. The wordplay, I can't deal with it. I was in the middle of being assaulted by the names, right?
Yes.
By the cliff sides. And the fact that a second ago when I almost said Bridget Bridges.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh yeah, wait, her name is Bridget. And it fucking haymakered me. And
But
then
you were still standing.
And then you fucking pulled up Google Translate, and the Dempsey Roll jet engine started going.
Throw the damn towel.
What the fuck?
Oh, I love this.
Stop!
I'm loving it.
Stop playing with words. You have to stop. It means something when it happens once in a story, and it's a cool little unexpected thing. When it happens 5 times, everyone's rolling their eyes. When it happens every single character for every single moment, it's too much. When you speak English and you hear these, it's just too much. You have to stop. There's too many connections. There's too much. These puns they're not puns anymore. It's just one big fucking... Oh, God.
Mr. Kojima, never stop, never stopping. All right?
I did not like it.
You good?
That was too much. That was way too much, man. That's the whole game. That's the whole game, dude.
Everywhere. You can't miss it. It gives meanings to things.
But
Consistency.
it takes meanings away.
Standards.
It takes meanings away because it yells them from the mountaintops. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know, dude. I don't.
Shall we?
Min, if Min is out there, is this the type of text you like? Is this how you enjoy it when it's all on the table and then we train it all together and we wrap it up so that you can't possibly miss it? You want a blunt bat to the head with the meaning? Help me. Tell me.
He does not care about your sadness. He does not care about your sadness one bit. All right?
Bat to the head.
Okay. I will go on with this interview. If that's okay with you.
No, that's fine. It's just I'm having this is a confrontation with the nature of subtlety, right? This, to me, I'm having a confrontation with the nature of subtlety in storytelling.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing how and why it's so important. Because, of course, Khipu means not. Whatever. Fuck off. Like, I'm like, fuck the text you're about to read, right? It doesn't matter. That's not even why nothing is a surprise anymore. Like, you're about to read the first text on the screen in front of us that says Khipu means not.
Oh my god!
Like, you have to understand that there is, like, these connections now no longer have meaning.
They're flat.
Everything is
flat.
everything, but they don't, there's no surprise or even, like, there's no admiration for them, right? It's just a dad pun, and it's just that feeling of, like, oh, you corny asshole. You know that feeling? Like, magnify it and then compress it. You know what I mean? And then put it in a Large Hadron Collider and shoot it around Europe until it collides with itself and see what happens when you smash it together. This pun smashed into the atomized into itself. Like, it doesn't mean anything anymore when everything is a pun and everything connects to everything else in this way, and the whole point of the story is connections. It's almost exhausting, and it's in the middle of a good story that I'm enjoying, but this layer of it, this surface layer of bat to the head connections with no subtlety to them, it's just like, it drains a little bit more life every time. So when I scroll down and it's like, did you know that this word from the story means this other word from the story?
Yep.
Or that this name from the story is also this other thing? Or that if you spell this backwards, it spells out this other part? Yeah, actually. And I don't care anymore because there's been too many of them. The trick has lost its luster.
Just sucking all the fun out of it.
It's not magic anymore. It's dry. The milk's gone bad.
It's like the best cake, the tastiest thing you've ever tasted, with a shit fondant all over it.
It just doesn't, the trick doesn't work when you don't stop using it. Please go ahead.
Khipus. Khipu means not.
Fuck you.
In the question. This is delicious. Objects given this name were used in ancient Incan society to record and transmit information. And yes, Amelie just so happens to wear one. The Inca would pass Khipu from one place to another via a network of messengers known as chasquis. You might be surprised at the complexity that can be communicated through a simple system of knots, and not merely numerical data. It is said that whole histories could be contained in these intricate webs. Some theories suggest that they were ascribed magical properties too. Certain combinations of knotted numbers were thought to encourage the dead to sleep peacefully in their graves, for example. Thus, we see that the Khipu is at once a tool for communication, storytelling, and ritual. How about that?
Sam has returned safe and sound. It had been about a month since he departed for Amelie's beach, 30 days of relentless searching for us, though for him it must have felt like an eternity. I cannot imagine the isolation and despair he must have been forced to endure, a suffering known only by Amelie and Bridget. A and B.
Yep. True.
Sam had told us about the extinction entity.
See, your brain is growing there.
No, I know. I hours ago I fucking caught that. I'm just throwing it out there because from now on I'm just gonna throw them out there because they don't have flavor anymore. You drank so much sugar that you can no longer taste the sweetness, and everything else now tastes more bitter because your tongue has been ruined.
Desensitized. Okay.
Sam told us about the extinction entity, EE, like a BB, and how it granted humanity a reprieve, but beyond that, he is reluctant to speak. Well, we shall not put any pressure on him. Frankly, I expect we'd struggle to comprehend anything else he tells us. Suffice to say that the last Stranding has been avoided, even if its precursor has forever reshaped our world. Thousands and thousands of years from now, should intelligent life walk the Earth and find our fossils, they'll likely conclude that Homo sapiens died out in the sixth extinction. Perhaps, if we're lucky, they may even find records we still leave behind. Still, we cannot hope to guess how much they will understand about who we are, who we were. After all, their intelligence is not like ours, or will not be like ours. Theirs will be a different understanding of the world, of the universe, different forms of existence, different conceptions of what it is to be alive. These invariably lead to different conceptions of what it is to die. But it matters not if they never understand who we were. All that matters, in my opinion at least, is that they know that we were here. Like, if someone were to go back and tell me that, like, that text of wherever he talks about the big five here, right? Like, if someone were to go and say, oh, yeah, remember the list of the big five that he gives you?
Yeah.
I bet you if you take the first letters of all of those big fives, you can spell out the 5 friends that are searching for... I would be like, yeah, I wouldn't even... You know, like, is it... Let's find it. Is it here? Do you remember what it was called?
Was it in the theory of evolution, or
who knows?
Was it somewhere else?
Who knows? First came this, then came that. Oh, the big five. I just saw it. I just saw it. Well, that's fine.
No. Neanderthals?
There you go.
Ah, yes.
D.
Okay. Devonian. Oh, they don't mention them.
No, it's not the one. Whatever.
Trying to find the capital letters.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, I honestly, I would, like, shit like that
I'm
wouldn't even...
telling you, man, your brain is more powerful now. You're going to see all these links and all these, like, references between stuff. It's connections. This game improved your connection. It widened your bandwidth. That's what just happened, Woolie. You might hate it right now because it's the pain, right? But this pain will make you stronger.
No, it just makes all things taste like nothing. It just makes... it's too much sugar on my tongue.
That happens to everyone once they get old, Woolie. Don't worry about it. That's just normal. That's just normal.
Look up the 5 extinctions. Find them. Damn it, we're still missing 5 to 9.
So there might be extra stuff to do to get these last ones?
Hold on a
but
second.
we have extras at the bottom.
24. Okay, hold on. Let's read the first 5 again. Today I made a delivery to a shelter in Middle Knot City. Okay, so he's just a porter here. Yeah. And he's sympathetic to the young ones.
Yes, and he wants to survive as well.
Helps that I got a 6th sense for BTs too. Sometimes people praise me. He's doing a good job. He's enjoying being a porter.
Yeah. And he thinks that he's not going to be able to survive by himself.
Preppers are dying. On the verge of going necro. Dumped him in BT territory. Better than leaving him to pop. Just before he popped, he could feel the BTs reacting to the corpse. Saw the beach. It's like he felt it before. Don't know if this is what it means. Doesn't know if this means I've got dooms, but I'm starting to think there's something special about me. Okay. Went out tested. Okay, BT sensing abilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's noticing dooms. But this is before he met. This is before he met her.
And you see here it says, Daddy always told me that the wild, wild world was dangerous. That we had to stay in our shelter and spend our whole lives there and die there.
Fuck that. Community is what it's all about. So he's all about it. But he's noticing Doom's-like abilities before he met her.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy of mine died again.
And he saw the void out.
Saw the void out. Nearly blinded me. He wandered into BT territory. Not many of us porters left these days. If we keep trying, we're going to need better equipment. And yeah. Just wish I knew what to do, because at this rate, we're fucked. Okay. All right. So yeah, we actually have to collect 5 to 9 because we missed them.
Oh. So it's like memory chips?
In the abandoned BT town southwest of the junk dealer, you go there and collect parts for him during the story. The memory chip is on the back of a car in an old street. Is it only during the mission? If it's only during the mission, then that's a lot more trouble.
That would be weird.
Okay. That's going to take some time. Okay.
Yeah. So my first memory is of looking up at the ceiling of our shelter as a baby, bawling my eyes out. All of a sudden, the hand of God comes into view, blotting out the steel sky. Daddy lifts me up, not gentle, but not hard. Shouts some stuff, but it's all gibberish I can't make heads or tails of. He ain't my real daddy, though. That one died before I was born, and Mama soon after. Of disease or something. I don't know. Her brother took me in, whisked me away from that shelter reeking of piss and death, and brought me here. Daddy number 2. He never really took to it. He was an ugly, violent man, full of anger, with nowhere to go. Tried to love me in his own way, but I don't know if he ever had it in him. Daddy told me our shelter was our world, and I believed him. I grew up thinking no one but us two existed. Then, when I got a little older, I started asking questions. Simple questions about where the food came from, that kind of thing. Got smacked upside the head for my troubles. But try as he might, he couldn't beat the curiosity out of me. One day, I peeked at his monitor. It was the first glimpse I'd ever caught of the outside world. I pestered Daddy about it, and you bet I caught holy hell for it. But I wore him down, and eventually, he came clean, and admitted there was a whole world out there, soaked to the bone by timefall and overrun by demons that'd eat me up. It occurred to me later that his fear-mongering probably got my mama killed, filling her head with his hysterics about the dead walking the earth and the only safe haven being 6 feet under.
Okay. He was raised like
by a crazy adoptive father.
He was raised like a bunker baby, basically.
Yeah. So he was troubled.
Let me just. Okay. My mama entrusted me to her brother, so that he had no choice but to raise me the best he could. Say what you will about the man, but he had himself a sense of obligation. He might have even harbored a measure of affection for me, but whatever was in his heart, he expressed with his hands, his fists. Any hopes and dreams he might have had for me, for us, fell by the wayside pretty quick. We slipped into a daily routine of warnings to stay the fuck inside, bookended by beatings to drive the point home. I think sometimes he sincerely believed that was the only way to protect me, but I wasn't about to go on living like that. Can't cage a young boy spirit. If I stayed, I'd have died. Body and soul. I had to get out. Started hoarding supplies in secret, but he caught on. That was the beginning of the worst beating yet. He grabbed anything and everything within reach he could to be used as a weapon, tearing our shelter apart, smashing furniture, all the while wailing like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. He pinned me down, tears and spit flying in my face as he blubbered on about me not understanding his pain. His fucking pain. His hands around my neck, darkness creeping from the corners. His fucking pain. His fucking pain. The kitchen knife in my hands, in his neck, his hands, his fucking hands. They grow weak, and he just deflates like a balloon all over me. I roll him off. I look into his glassy eyes, filled with his fucking pain and our steel sky. K. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That negative energy.
Yes. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Absolutely.
I didn't know how to feel after. I spent the night next to him, my mind a blank canvas. In the back of it, a nagging voice saying I had to dispose of him. Daddy hadn't told me much, but he had told me about how bodies go necro, pop BTs and all that. Made for a good bedtime story, so I knew what would happen if I let him lie. Death would come into our home and turn it into a crater. His stink was starting to fill up the room. I had to deal with him, had to get him out. Get him as far away as possible. So I got my arms under his and dragged him out into a new world with a new sky. Bigger. Emptier. Bare rock dotted with bushes all around. Mountains. Fucking mountains off in the distance. Carol clouds hugging their peaks. My knees started getting wobbly and the world began to spin, but I knew the clock was ticking. Eyes down. Gotta deal with Daddy. I'd been moving at a steady clip when I saw it. Chiralium coming off Daddy. Little motes of shimmering light. I was out of time. I laid him down in the dirt, but before I let go, I had a vision. My hands, still resting on his body, disappeared, vaporized into a fine mist. Poof! And then I felt another presence. A BT. Coming slow but sure, like it'd been walking since the beginning of time. Daddy's keeper. That was the first one I sensed, but it wasn't the last. For a long while after, I remained awakened to their presence. A sixth sense, Daddy's parting gift to me. Over time, it'd fade. But I knew how I got it, and I knew how to get it back. All I needed was another body, and I got real good at making them.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's very, very good. That's excellent.
Wow. So it was in him.
There it is. I really appreciate these journals.
Yes.
Okay, something that just comes to mind when I'm reading 25 at the end here is I've often criticized and had these moments in games that in games like Nier and Nier Automata, where and to some degree as well visual novel games where like Danganronpa has these moments too, where when something gets translated from Japanese to English and it's written originally for emphasis in a big emotional moment, sometimes they'll do these things where they repeat the same word over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
And then you'll see like it'll pop up more and more and more and more until eventually you see a paragraph of just that one word or just that one sentence, right? And it's supposed to leave a chilling, creepy obsession sort of effect.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work, especially when you keep doing it in this way. It ends up just kind of it reads weird. The impact that it's supposed to leave, I don't think translates that well into English, right? Yoko Taro's done it. Again, Danganronpa's done it. Visual novels have done this type of thing where you just see the word repeated infinity. The way to do it in English is to do it like this, right? His fucking pain, right?
His fucking pain.
His fucking pain.
It's heavier.
But it's not 18 times in a row with nothing else.
Yeah.
The story is continuing. You're going through the events. You're piecing together each moment in time as it takes another step forward, and his fucking pain interrupts it a couple times, and then it comes back in one more time with full context of that moment, right? At the end.
Yeah.
This is the actual way to write and get an idea that's an obsession in someone's mind across in that moment. By just taking the word his fucking pain and repeating it and then having pain for a paragraph in those other contexts that I've talked about in the past, this is the exact opposite of that. This works super well.
And the culmination, the resolution after he goes, his fucking pain, the kitchen knife in my hands.
Exactly. This is well written.
His hand.
Yeah, it's well written. It's 100%.
Everything is.
This is, and it's just this doesn't help for this playthrough, but it's something I've pointed out when I'm like, don't do that, and the reason why I say don't do that is because this is how you do it correctly. So, well done on that. Okay. Oh boy, this is the longest and most intense LP session
ever.
Ever.
For sure.
Ever.